As we have previously discussed, statistics is the study of us. We use that to ask questions about the world, to collect data, analyze the data, organize it. And in order to do that, observational studies and experiments are the two major types of study involved in this type of work. The main difference between those two types is the way the observation is done. In an observational study, we observe and measure specific characteristics. In an experiment, we impose a treatment and observes the effects. Here's kind of some text that you may want to add onto your notes. We do studies, of course, to gather information and draw conclusions. And the type of conclusion we draw depends on the study method used. And that's where those two methods come into play. In observational study, we measure or survey members of a sample without trying to affect them, right? We just observe them and collect the data and analyze it. In an experiment, we assign people or things to groups and apply some treatment to one of the groups, while the other group does not receive the treatment, and then we analyze the data from that context. So let's take a look at the examples we have on our notes. The first one you'll see is an observational study. You will see we just observed there was no treatment done on individuals or the group to be studied, right? The people were asked what contributes to their happiness, right? And you see 77% responded that their family or partner does, and that would be considered an observational study. The second example is an experiment because there's a treatment, right? The subjects were given 20 milligrams doses of the drug, and then we studied to see what happened. And in this case, we got a percent or proportion of them that experienced nausea after receiving that drug. And in the third case, the third one is an observational study, right? And as we think about the difference between these two types of studies, an experiment we're attempting to draw cause and effect from it, meaning that if after we analyze the results from an experiment, we may be able to say that this thing causes this thing, right? But again, it depends on the results and the way the study was formed. And so in this case, the way this original one is set up, it's an observational study. And because it's an observational study, you cannot come out that it's that there's that one thing affects the other. We now maybe have a relationship and association, but we cannot say that it's a cause and effect relationship because no treatment was given. And in order to change the study, you would go ahead and in a case like this, out of the 50 people, you're going to make 25 random participants run daily and 25 not run. You break them up to the groups. And so in this case, the treatment would be that one group runs and the other one does it. And then you compare the weights after a year to see if running actually helps. And then we may be able to draw a conclusion, say running does reduce weight.